The Rithmatist by Brandon Sanderson. This is a sci-fi steampunk book with 370 pages and 25 chapters. The target audience is young adults. I've got it from a middle school library. Or actually, it was Discover Books, but they got it from a middle school library. So, anyways, what if geometry could come to life? So, this is all based on Rithmatists. They have the ability to draw images in chalk. So they can draw a line and have it become a wall, a circle become a defense, and even pictures, they call them chalklings. They can draw an image and have it come to life and attack other lines and even other people. So there is the ability once you graduate from the academy to then affect the real world. Typically the chalk only affects other chalk, but once you graduate you get the ability to affect things in the real world. So very neat, very creative, very unique magic system, very unique setting as well. This is in the past, and so it's steampunk, but there's no steam or electricity. Everything's called spring work, so you wind things, and then the gears and stuff bring it to life. So they have lanterns, grass cutting, even their trains and horses are, wind up, or, they call them spring work. So it's a little fancier than wind up, but really, really unique. I liked it. But also it's set in previous set in the past in America, but instead of a traditional map, it is the 60 Isles, or the United Isles of America. So yeah, they've got all of them, and Nebraska is the capital, or I guess the most important part, or the part they mention the most. So once a rhythmatist graduates from the academy, they are then sent to Nebraska for their 10 years of battle service against the wild chalklings. We don't know much about this setup, but that there is an ongoing battle, and ever since the discovery, which coincided with the discovery of Rithmatics, this battle has been raging. So it's set in a college. It's called an academy, but the main character, Joel, is 16 years old. I kept going back and forth. In my mind, I pictured the community college that I took summer classes at. But at the same time, like every time I thought about this book, I kept thinking of high school because 16, I didn't go to college till I was 18. So, it really, made me think a little bit more. And I kept going back and forth, and like it is a college, right? Melody, the other main character, she is a junior, so she would have been closer to like 19 or 20, or maybe even 21. But when you're in college, the age range doesn't really matter as much as it did in high school. But either way, that was just a personal thing. I had trouble like pinning it down, like where they're at. But it is an academy, it is college, university. It's a prestigious university, and Joel is a son of a staff member, so he gets to live on campus. And let's see, he went through the ceremony that everyone goes through at 8 years old called Inception. And this is to help decide if you become a rhythmatist or not. You go into a room, you wait, something happens, you come out, you can either do it or you can't. And that's it. And so his father died when he was 8, and so he missed the original 4th of July, his 8-year-old chance. And so that's where this story is set. He is obsessed with Rithmatics, the drawing and the dueling and all that stuff, and he just can't get enough. But of course, he isn't one. And so it's kind of, strange to be that obsessed, but not be able to do it. And so, yep. There is a mystery afoot. Students start disappearing from the school, and so everybody gets nervous. Are they kidnapped? Are they killed? They're missing in action. So that's the mystery, and the action is the physical duels, right? You have different rhythmatists who can duel each other, and in the opening scene, one of the professors, you know, challenges the other for tenure with a duel, which is kind of neat and an interesting way to think about it. But yeah, it was a great storyline. It kept me interested. I wanted to find out what happened, but I did want to say one of the things that I didn't like was that there was only really two major duels, and it kind of bookended the front and the back of the book. So that was kind of a bummer. I was hoping for more of those. That was good stuff. But also, I was expecting this to be a single book. Like, I went into it thinking, oh, great, it's one book, I can finish it. It won't be a giant series, that kind of thing. But it deliberately leaves it a cliffhanger with to be continued. So just know that going forward, the sequel hasn't come out yet, even though it's expected in the near future. So yeah, two things I didn't like. I did like that Joel is an errand boy, so, a lowly station, but he then gets to be around campus and supposedly be in places that he wouldn't normally be. I liked that he was close with the staff, right? His parents were staff members, and the duels were just so much fun. So I liked all those. Uh, there were some really creative things too, you know, to augment your drawing ability, right? You can only draw as far as you can reach with your arm. If you have a cane, for instance, you could stick chalk at the end of a cane and you could reach a little bit further. So that was really creative. Also, having it on your shoe, spinning in a circle, drawing on your shoe, it would be much speedier if less accurate. So very neat, very creative. And I already talked about the Springworks. This has just been an absolute thrill ride. I think it would make an amazing movie. Like, I just had so much fun picturing all the scenes, and just the creativeness of this universe was just so much fun. So give it a shot. It is a young adult novel, but I just couldn't put it down. And so, yep, give it a shot. There are some quotes I almost forgot. So here we have Melody, one of the main characters, talking with Joel in an ice cream parlor. Let's see. Everyone knows that ice cream is worth the trouble of being cold. Like all things virtuous, you have to suffer to gain the reward. Ice cream is a metaphor for religious virtue, Joel said. Nice. So Joel is poor and Melody is not. And so they went to the ice cream parlor and Joel got to experience a little bit of that. That was really cool. The second one is Joel talking about logic. That is silly, Melody said. I'll go through with it, Joel said. It makes me feel sick is all. Logically, he saw problems in that reasoning. One couldn't be blamed for not being a rhythmatist. Still, logic didn't change the way a person felt. He'd almost rather be left with the possibility that he could have been a rhythmatist than find out for certain. Right? You can talk about things all you want, but logic doesn't change how you feel about something. So that was important. IQ, EQ, all that good stuff. This was a fun book, and I even enjoyed the politics in it. I don't normally enjoy politics, but they were straightforward and easy enough for a younger audience that I enjoyed them. What does that say about my taste in politics? But anyways, this was a really cool sci-fi steampunk book, and I recommend it. It has been an awesome Brandon Sanderson novel. So buy your books used.